Welcome to Radio Frequency Integrated Circuits class, and this is lecture 4, unit number 3. And in today's class, we'll look at few numericals on impedance transformation, especially on L match and pi match, and we'll also see the same demonstration in cadence. Right. Okay, so in yesterday's class, we have discussed about this pi match, where we have a third degree of freedom, where we have an option actually to work for a different Q, and that is basically done by calculating an intermediate resistance, and then pi match is basically two L matches in cascade. So we have the design equations with us, which is for the Q factor for the both the sections, and we have the formula for intermediate resistance, and with that we can arrive at the sum of the inductance value as well as the capacitance values. Now the dual of pi match also we have seen, which is T match. So now today what we'll do is we'll take a specification and we'll design both L match and T match, sorry, L match and pi match for the same set of specification, right? So the question is this: design L match L match pi match and T match to meet the following specifications. So given that center frequency is equal to 1 giga, R1 is given as 50 ohms, R2 is given as 5 ohms. So you can consider R1 as the initial resistance, as a load resistance RL, and R2 as a resistance which we transform and which we see from the input side. And also given that bandwidth is about 25 megahertz. So 25 megahertz around the center frequency. All right, so you are asked to design both L match, pi match, and T match. Let us design L match and pi match, and then we'll go for the dual of pi match. Right. So I request all of you to try this question out. First for L match, let us arrive at the numerical values. We'll see the cadence simulation and see whether we are getting the same results. And similarly, we'll proceed with pi match and T match also. So here the first cases will solve for L match. So you can actually have the circuit diagram. So this is your resistance R1, this is C, and in L match you have only one LC network. So this is L and C, right? So we know that, or from the given specification, it is clear that we need to transform 50 ohm impedance into 5 ohm. So I have taken a downward impedance transformer. That is why I have taken this topology of L and C like this. So from here, the resistance seen is R2. So any answers for L and C, you can work out, and you can post your answers in the chat box. Divyananthan, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So did you get the answer for this? Values LC.
I'm still trying, sir.
Okay. Okay. Vishnu Teja.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So did you get the answer for this?
I'm doing it, sir. Just give me a minute.
Okay. Okay, I have answers here. Sarvesh, capacitance you are given as 9.55 pico. Yes, and inductance is 2.39 nano. Yes. Any other observation? Yeah, the values are correct.
The Q value is much greater than 1, so we can
Yeah. So
use the
the
approximate.
yeah, come again.
So the QP value we got was 3, sir. So QP square will be much greater than 1, so we can use the approximate formula for the problem.
All right. Yeah, yeah, that is possible. Now, any other observations from the given specification? Anyone else also can tell. Yeah, the values are correct. The L value and C value are the L both L and C values are correct. Yeah, so as we discussed in the case of L match, here the Q factor is decided by the impedance transformation ratio, right? So from the network, I can say the Q factor of the network will be equal to under root of Rp by R in, which is not R1 by R2 minus 1. So this is equal to 10 minus 1, which is equal to 3. So the Q factor that which this network can provide, or this L match will give you only a Q factor of 3. But if you look at the specifications given, from the specifications we can find the Q factor. Q factor is nothing but sender frequency divided by bandwidth, because here it says that the Q factor requirement from the specification is 1 giga by 25 mega, which is close to 40. Right, that is a requirement. Or this matching network is demanding actually a lot of bandwidth, right? So the bandwidth is around 25 mega, that too at the sender frequency of 1 giga. So that Q factor is it is very clear that that Q factor cannot be met if you use an L match, or in turn that is actually the what to say inefficiency of this L match to, or the inability of this L match to meet the requirement of 25 megahertz of bandwidth, right? But still we'll arrive at the component values with the yeah, this is one of the drawback what I was stating yesterday, because the impedance transformation ratio will directly determine your Q factor, and the requirement is 40 and what we are having is 3, and we are actually there is a large difference. But still with that we can with the available Q of 3, if I go ahead and find the value of this omega naught L by R in, which is R2, so this will actually give you the value of L as 2.39 nanohenry. And similarly, we know that the Q factor can also be written as omega naught R1 into C, where your C value, this will be for a, this is omega naught R1 into C, and this will give you C value which is equal to 9.55 picofarad. I hope this is clear. Right. Now, one major issue what we will have with this kind of matching network is the component values what we get finally by substituting this equation. Sometimes they may not be practically realizable values in IC design. That has to be actually dealt in detail. So I'll comment like this and I'll leave it as of now. Because we will not be doing much on the passive component integration on an IC, right? So that is a little more extensive study. So in this case, 2.39 nano and a capacitance of 9.55 is quite okay. But again, this L match cannot provide the desired specifications. That is the point what I want to make here, right? If this is clear, you can go ahead and find out what are the component values in the case of a pi match. So let me draw the pi match here. Yeah, so you can work it out and let me know what is the what are the component values you are getting for a pi match. All right, since we fabricate these circuits in an IC, is it required for the values to be multiples of the standard values? No, no need actually. We can actually, the fabrication is possible even for values. It is not like a standard resistance values, because in the case of in the case of a discrete circuits lab, when we go to the lab, because manufacturers will manufacture only a certain set of standard values, right? That is why we have to choose from those. But now in an IC, we do have provision actually to fabricate whatever value you can. But only a problem there is, see, if the inductance value is too small, if the inductance value you are getting is small in terms of picohenry or even smaller than that, those things will be very difficult to realize without much losses. That is the major issue in realizing these passive components. So even though we can create, we can see how generally we make a inductor on an IC is actually by drawing metal lines itself. So in most of the some cases, even the connecting pads that will offer some kind of inductance, and that can be considered as an inductance to the circuit itself. So there are different methods to do that. Generally, we go with something called as spiral inductors. There are different other geometries possible. But the only challenge there is, I will not diminish the challenges by telling that the only challenge, but still getting a value if you are getting, if you are ending up with a low inductance value, now realizing that without losses will be a challenge, definitely, because ideally we say that inductors and capacitors will not be with losses, but practically some lossy resistance will be associated with both. So that will be definitely a challenge. All right, yeah. So are you getting the answers for this? So in this case, you have to utilize the equations what we have taken yesterday. Probably you can start with this. In the case of pi match, we are actually out of the what to say, the drawback or the constraint what we had in the case of L match is now not there. We are out of that constraint. That means we can actually try for a Q of 40. L1 plus L2 is 0.344 nano Henry. All right, Sai Shrika. So how did you get that, Sai? Can you unmute and let me know?
Sir, first I found the intermediate resistance
Okay,
using
so
the
how did you get?
approximate
Oh,
formula.
Ri. You got the Ri. So Ri
Yes,
you
sir.
obtained from the approximated formula
Yes,
of
sir.
root of. Okay. All right. So I want all the formulas in steps. Okay, let me write that here. So the required Q. Thank you, Sai Shrika. The required Q is 40. So we can actually find out the intermediate resistance Ri with the formula what we have written yesterday, which is R. In this case, this is R2, root of R2 plus Rp is root of R1, the whole square. Divided by Q square. I think this will give you the value of Ri. Can I know the value of Ri? Saurabh Kumar, are you there? Saurabh Kumar? Oh, Saurabh Kumar is not there. Okay. Sarvesh. Yeah, Sarvesh, answer is 54.13 milliohms. Yes, that is a low, very low value. It is close to 0.05413, right? Yes, 0.05413. But no need to worry, this Ri is only an intermediate resistance. We are not going to realize a physical resistance over there. This is just an intermediate resistance, right? Yes, Rohit, yeah. Subramanya, yeah, all are getting same answer, right? Okay. So this is Ri. Now with the help of Ri, yeah, now if Q and Ri are there, as we have discussed yesterday, yeah, if Q and Ri are there, we can actually find the inductance, the capacitance value C1 and C2. So if you look at this, the equations now for C1, C2, you need to find only Q left and Q right, and L is again Ri into Q by omega naught, right? What you can do now is you can find out what is Q left and Q right after writing the equations for C1 and C2. So C1 is equal to Q left divided by omega naught into R2, and C2 is equal to Q right divided by omega naught into R1. So to evaluate these two, you should know what is Q left and Q right. So Q left can be obtained, yeah, again with the help of the ratio resistance what we wrote yesterday, under root of R in by R. Okay, Rn by Ra should be replaced here suitably, and Q right this is Rp by Ri minus 1. So this these things should be replaced suitably. What is Rin in this case? Rin is actually R2 by Ri minus 1, and this is R1 by Ri minus 1. So this will give you the value of Q left and Q right. So if you're getting, yeah, so Q left value is around 9.5 and Q right value is 30.3. Yeah, we do have, now we have the value of Q left and Q right. That will give you, yes, oh yes, the answer is correct. Now you can find out the values for C1 and C2. So with this you will get C1 and C2 values. C1 is 0.304 nano, yes, that is 304 picofarad, and C2 is 96.67 pico, yes, that is C1 and C2. All right, so now with all this you can find the inductance value. Inductance value can be written as L is equal to Q into Ri by omega naught, right? Q into Ri by omega naught. Yeah, L is nothing but L1 plus L2. I think, yeah, Sai Shrika has given the answer before. It is 0.344 nanohenry. Yeah. Now, one thing what we can comment here is, yes, Rakshak, 344 pico. Oh, 344 pico is what? Yeah, yeah, it is same as inductance value. Yes, pico henry. Yeah. So again, one problem here is you have capacitance here. See the values what we got here, C1 and C2. The values are a little on the higher side because 300 picofarad will definitely take a lot of area in the IC. So in that way, we can say that these values are inconvenient to have an IC realization, but still for us, we are not looking at the realization at least for now. Now we are looking whether this match is providing a proper transformation ratio, right? So these are the component values. Now the same you can try with T match and let me know what are the results. T match, you have the values. All right. So when you get the values for this, the T match, let me open Cadence and let me show the simulation for the same. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I hope you can
Yes.
see the screen here, now the Cadence screen. All right, so this is what we have done yesterday. So let me just modify the values here and see whether the new values are working. For the L match, what we obtained today. So today the values what we got are the initial R value was 50 ohm. Yeah, R is 50 itself. Now the capacitance value we got is 9.55 pico. and the inductance value is close to 2.39 nano. 2.39 nano. All right, and now let me launch ADL, and we are expecting resistance at the input side, which is close to 5 ohms, right? At the center frequency of 1 giga. So all right, so here it is enabled. Uh, I need to change this because this has to operate at 1 giga with a bandwidth. So the other setup remains same. I have just modified the values, and I'm giving for simulation. Yeah, the system is little slow. Let me. All right, I think it will take some time. So let me just check the values first. Yeah, I think it is ready now. We'll wind up shortly after doing the simulation on Pi match. We'll wind up shortly. Yeah, so the simulation is ready. Let me go to results, direct plot, main form, and go to Z parameters and just put this replace. And I'll click on the real and I'll press this Z11, which will give you the plot here at 1 giga. Yeah, so at 1 giga, the resistance value is very close to 5, where it is 5.007. It is actually 5. All right, Rahulaj, you have a question. What was a sweeping parameter? Was it frequency? Yes. I did for a narrow range. Now, instead of 1 giga to 10 giga, I just plotted from 0.9 to 2 giga. Yeah. So we are at that frequency, we are actually getting a value of 5. Now the bandwidth requirement or the bandwidth what as is 25 mega. That means I think we have a low value at 1.25. No, it is 250, right? So 25 is sorry. 25 is very close to this. Yeah. So let us see that later. Now let me plot the imaginary also. Yeah, so at 1 giga, the value is almost zero, right? So we are not left with any imaginary part, imaginary component, but with a real impedance of 5, which is what the desired value. Yeah, I hope Rahul Raj I answered. Yeah, it was from 0.9 to 2 giga. Yes. So this is for your L match. So whatever we design, we are getting here. Now, like I'm not telling this is so easy to actually design a matching network. The one thing is, so now once we are arriving at some values of the components, say some inductances or capacitance, we have to look at the whether those values are realizable. So that can be checked only with the help of the Foundry PDK. So a Foundry would have given a PDK, and they will actually tell you what range of inductors and capacitors and resistors are possible within their foundry. So it depends purely on that. Now let me quickly do the other one, which is pi match. Yeah, so in pi match, we do have almost the same components, only differences. All right, so the same 50 ohms here. Now I need one more capacitance on this side and one more inductance here. Even you can have a single inductance. There is no need to actually explicitly mention two inductors. Even with a single inductance, it should work. Let me keep only one inductance here. All right. So this is your schematic, but I need to change the values here. So this is 50. What was the capacitance C2 value? Can I get the value? C2 was close to. What was the answer? C2. Can I get in the chat box? Okay, let me check it here. Yeah, C2 was 96.67. Yes, thank you, Nikhil. It was 96.67 pico. That was C2, and for C1, C1 is 304 pico. Yes, 304 pico. Yeah, those values are given. Now it is inductance value. Inductance value was close to 345 picohenry, right? Which was point, yeah, 0.344 nano. Yes. All right. So I'll just save this and go and launch ADL. Let me close the other ADL. I'm just closing the other window. All right, yeah. So here I'll launch ADL. So here the sender frequency is 1 giga and I'm giving an input of say some minus 20 dBm. Now I need to set up the SP analysis here. So I have taken SP and I need to select the port here. So I selected my port. Going back to the SP analysis window, their frequency I need to sweep say from 0.9 giga to 1.1 giga, and then just applying it so that simulation is enabled, analysis is enabled. Now I can run the analysis. Yeah, simulation is done. Now you have to go to results. Sorry for this delay. Yeah, it's coming. All right, I think it's taking time. So if it's coming, I'll show the simulation now. Okay. Yeah, so here just give replay z parameter real and I'll plot z1, and you can see that I'll take a vertical trace. I'll keep it 1 giga. I can see that the resistance is very close to, yeah, it is very close to 4.98. It is approximately, it is 5. and you can sufficiently you can see the value range. Now if I plot the imaginary component, yeah, so here you can see that the imaginary value is 0 or it is minus very you can see a negligible reactive component there. So this is actually a pi match simulation, which is actually matching a 50 ohm impedance to a 5 ohm without having any reactive component, right? So again, matching impedances using these kind of networks is easy with respect to when we do with this equations, but only thing is we should have a check with the practical values which can be realizable in the IC, right? So with that, I would like to wind up today's session. So if you have questions now, you can ask